Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to be starting our Accounts Committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, April 20th, and the time is 5:45. So this meeting is being held in accordance with Governor Charlie Baker's signed open meeting law order dated March 12, 2020, which relieves a public body from the requirement of Section 20 of Chapter 38 that is conduct its meeting in a public place that is open and physically accessible to the public, provided that the public body makes provision to ensure public access to the deliberations of the public body for interested members of the public through adequate alternative means. The Accounts Committee members, staff, and certain invited guests, which matters on the agenda, will attend the meeting in person in the council chambers. Out of respect for public health and in response of governor's declared state of emergency, this meeting will be closed to the public, and interested parties can instead access the deliberations via live stream. So the number one item on the agenda is to review the POs for March 15 meeting.
So I gave you guys each a list of the POs that were, you guys had a question on at the last meeting, and I gave you a description of the services. If you guys want to just read that over, and if you have any additional questions, I'll try to answer them.
Anne Marie, what's a Section 19 agreement?
I'm not 100% sure, but it was agreement between the employee and the city of Brockton.
Okay, what about, what is GL Chapter 152?
That one did have something, they did write something that it had to do with injuries.
With what?
Injury, so I'm assuming it was a workers' comp case.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to know about that Section 19 agreement. Can you email us? Will you inquire and email us? Thank you.
I'll give you what information I can, yes.
Okay, thank you.
We had questions about the settlements. Would that be the Section 19 agreement?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And then number 2 is review AP warrant P21 to 103.
Anne Marie, the next time that you give us something like this, can you give us the warrant number too?
Oh, certainly.
Also, you know, so that way it's easier to match
The
them up.
reference book. I'm sorry, yes,
It's
of
okay.
course.
Thank you. Okay, who's going to start?
So who would like to start? I can start. I have some questions about that one. On page 3, the Amazon.com, it goes a few pages. It's a
The
very,
school department orders a lot of their supplies from Amazon now because it's cheaper than doing it locally.
so that goes from page 3 to page 5, just on
Because they break it
Amazon.
out for each item, so it gets broken out.
just like the WB Mason.
Correct, yeah. It's for each department, so they break them out.
So is that like all the departments together, it's just one order to the Amazon, but like all of the departments in the city, that would just put it in the same?
The school department, as far as I know, are the only ones that use Amazon.
Oh, okay.
But yes, they do it by department, and then when we print the check, we print it out under, obviously, one name, so it looks,
What is the prefix with a number for a school department? It's not on my list of departments.
which one are you looking at?
Any of these Amazons, I'm just wondering, how would I know this was the school department?
It's the GL account, the 17.
173 or 159?
Yeah, anything that starts with a 1 is the school department. Most of the city ones start with a 0. And then if you go down a little, it says like a 21 account number, that's a grant for the school department.
So the school department listings start with 1.
Yes, for the general fund, and then 2s for any grants.
I'm sorry, 2 for what?
Grants for the school department?
On page 7, the Bay State interpreters, is those the documents that the city has to translate?
That's actually a question I had as
one?
well. Yep.
On Bay State interpreters, page 7.
It's for the school department, for anybody
Also
that
for the school
yes.
department? Oh. Translation to parents for that?
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Would it be like translating documents so they can mail it out to the parents in their language? Is that?
Sometimes, or if it's a child that doesn't speak English and they don't have someone that can interpret, they could bring somebody in to help them.
Oh, okay.
So I have a question. Page 43, TL Edwards. I know they're our contractor for paving and street repairs. Does it ever break it down to the actual street in which that repair, that invoice is directed to, or do we just pay whatever they give us and we don't know what
On the-
street that is?
On the invoices, there's more description.
Okay.
Because we don't have enough room.
Okay.
Actually, there's no description, pretty much except for where it's coming out of. The invoice will detail the streets, if there's a contract with it, and it'll break it all out.
Is there any way we could get that? I'm just interested in cost of repair, what type of improvements and how much they cost. Just kind of interested in my own understanding of what we pay for street repairs.
There's no doubt, Counselor, there's no doubt that the last one was the street at $238,000, because that's pretty decent, because they go usually up to $350,000 to $450,000 a street.
Right, so, yeah, I'm wondering, how much street does that
Yeah.
pave?
The others, I would say, are repairs and broken and whatever, but still substantial, could the whole street been done, or another street, but, than just doing a patch, which we have a tendency of doing sometimes, because they don't want to do the whole street yet,
Right.
but, yeah.
I'm a mess. Just pop the staple.
On page 13, there's the civil, down the bottom of the page, there's the civil environmental consultants, it's a $9,000. What was that consultant for? 13,
15.
yes.
Consultant, I don't know which one, civil.
That is being paid through a grant for the refuge department. So I will. I will pull that one for the next meeting.
Okay.
I have a few on this one. Is it okay if I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So the first, on this warrant, the first one is page 5.
Yeah. On 103, correct?
Yes, 103. Page 5, the listing is almost to the bottom, Sampson, Anthony. The amount that was paid was $1,250, but the year-to-date is $43,000, and so I wondered, what is that for?
He is one of the mentors, and he works weekly. So that is his contract for the year to work.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. And then I have, let me find the next one. They're not jumping out at me. Okay, page 21. The second entry down, Franciscan Children's Hospital. I understand that it's for sped tuition, and the year-to-date is $103,000. I just wondered, why would we be paying special ed tuition to a hospital?
If they are live-in at the hospital, then we provide their,
So this hospital has live-in?
yes.
Can you get more information? Thank you. And then on page 24, I wondered about, up toward the top, Horan Investment Co. 4, Inc. It says department charges and fees.
That is a refund, so they must have paid a fee for something, and they're being refunded for it.
What department?
That is water department.
Water. Okay, so that's like a refund?
That's usually, yeah, it's a revenue line item, so usually we only do refunds out of those lines.
Okay. And then down below there, there's Internal Revenue Service, health insurance, $63,220. And I just wondered, why would we be paying the IRS health insurance?
That one I will have to pull.
Okay. And then on page 28, there's in the middle of the page, LHS Associates, Inc., and the description is election/census. Year-to-date paid is just about $18,000, but the invoice was $54,000, and I wondered what that was for.
The year-to-date is $54,000. The invoice total is just shy of $18,000.
Yes.
I'm going to guess that that is probably the printing of the ballots, but I will double-check that for you.
Okay. And then I have page 42. Down toward the bottom, Spearings, Iglesias and Maria. department charges, and it's only $6, but I just wondered what would that be for?
It's a refund. They might have just overpaid their water bill.
Okay, all right. I think that's it on this warrant for me.
This warrant's pretty pedestrian.
On page 25, there's the JJB Library LLC, and then also down the bottom, another transportation company. I'm assuming those are for the school, but if we've been doing mostly remote this year, is that a contract price for the year, or is that based on children that they actually have to transport?
That is just strictly transportations, but we have some kids that might have still been going to school, because these ones usually are the ones that take them to the schools, the facilities outside of the city of Brockton.
So they're still going to school in person, even if Brockton, if they were doing remotely, it doesn't necessarily mean that they weren't going to school in person.
Correct. Yeah, we didn't pay obviously we didn't pay as much this year.
Yeah, much less, I'm assuming. Anybody else has any other questions on this warrant, or can we proceed to the other one? So, number 3, review AP warrant P21-106. The next one.
They automatically create a section that get overpaid, and then we put it into the warrant to pay their refunds.
Okay, I have a few. Do you want me to go?
Yes, go
Thank
ahead.
you. Okay, on this warrant, page 7, we're paying Brockton Redevelopment Authority. There's administrative fees and other services. I'd just like an idea of what we're paying them for.
So these are a lot of things. Since the city receives the money for CDBG funds, the home funds, and the lead grant, they send me a list of their expenses each month and their payroll for the employees. And then we send them a check, and then we do the drawdown, and the city receives the money back from the grant.
Okay,
So there's a list of expenditures that are approved by through the funding for CDBG and home. It's very strict.
okay,
So that is what that is, and I audit it every month and pay the bills.
okay, that's fine, that's satisfactory. And then I have page 12. Down toward the bottom, Environmental Operations Management Services. It says it's for buildings, grounds repair, and the amount was $750. But the vendor totals were $94,500.
That is for the cemetery.
So what do they,
They're up there expanding the cemetery, and we have a contract.
so this is for the Melrose?
Yes.
And it's a contract. Okay. Thank you. And then I
So
have,
those were businesses, the real estate.
and then on page 15, toward the bottom, JNT Enterprise, and the description is other charges and expenditures. It was about $9,200, but the year-to-date has all been paid, just about $62,000.
That is a school invoice through a grant, and I don't have the answer of what it was for. I will get that for you for the next meeting.
Anne Marie, your apple's losing its shine if you don't know this answer, because you know all these answers.
I don't look at the warrants as much as I used to.
Sure, sure. Thank you. I'm teasing, you know that.
I know.
Okay, page 23. We have Murphy Daniel, and it says athletics, non-PR, $70.
That is for the referees or the people that come in and work the games.
Okay. And that's it for me.
So I see that they're mostly businesses. So what would cause somebody to overpay?
So Jeff is asking me about some of the real estate refunds on the, that's attached to the back of the warrant. And a lot of times, he's asking because there's a lot of businesses here and what would cause real estate refunds. The most common ones are that sometimes they'll just overpay by accident. They don't realize it, or the mortgage company pays and they pay at the same time. If, they refinance, that's a lot of the reasons. I don't know specifically about these businesses. I could try to get more information. I wonder if, 7-Eleven. I don't know what page that would be on. Numbers are usually at the beginning, right?
On page 6, there's the Boston Globe, which is for $4,945, and it just says contract service.
Usually the only time we pay the Boston Globe is if we put an ad in there, or if they're ordering the Boston Globe. A subscription, and that could be for multiple schools. If you want, I can pull the invoice and see what information's on it.
Okay, thank you. And then on page 9, there's the CDM Smith, which is also for engineering and consultants.
I'm not sure which project this is for. We use CDM Smith a lot. This is through the sewer department, so they might have been out looking at the sewer pipes. They usually help with the consulting on the big projects.
And then on page 10,
Thanks for sharing.
Oh, anytime.
there's the CPA for the city. So that would be on page 10, the auditing. So how often do they come to audit the city of Brockton? Is that just a CPA company that we contract to come in?
Which one is this one?
This would be page 10,
Yeah.
and it's the Coppola CPA.
Oh, Dominic. He actually works in my office. He's our internal auditor,
Okay.
and he works 2 days a week. Every week, he's incredible. He's been here for 20 years, and he helps with the tax recap, our annual audit. He helps with the Schedule A filing for the free cash. He does a lot.
So he has a contract?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that same page on page 10, there's Linda Costa, which it also says other contract services.
She is through the school department, and looks like she's getting paid through a grant. I'm not sure what her services are. Would you like more detail on that one? Would you like more detail on her?
Yeah, sure, that'd be great, thank you. And then page 11, there's Distributor Corporation of New England, and it just says maintenance facility.
That is the school department facility maintenance department.
Okay, the school department.
They probably had to order some supplies for the schools.
Page 18 for Lynch Towing. What do we use them for? Why do we pay them? Because it says vehicle repair and maintenance.
Those look like they're inspection stickers.
Inspection stickers? Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? All set? Okay.
Second?
We just need to pick our next date.
Okay.
That would be the second FinCom of May, or May, April, May. That would be which date, do we know?
Next month?
18th? Or no, 17th?
May 17th?
May 17th?
I think so.
Okay. So our next meeting will be May 17 at 5:30 here at City Council, the chambers. And
Restate my motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
it's 6:15, and we adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.